So since we have our field map, we're going to want somewhere to go into our starting scene in our mountaintop. So what we'll do is we'll select this little windy road. You can actually place it on top of these little mountains. So now it looks like we have a road running up that mountain. We'll create an event. We will transfer to our starting scene. And always remember to go back into the scene you transferred to and create another transfer out. A lot of the times you'll be playtesting your game, you'll walk into one map, try and leave, and nowhere to go because you completely forgot to make another event to get out. It's going to make this really quick and choppy, so what we'll do is go like that. I know this section here isn't really explaining a whole lot about actually placing tiles down. I'm just quickly making some maps just to show you the map properties menu and the transfer between each map. So now that we have, I just quickly created this so you kind of know where your transfer event is. This way we're not just aimlessly walking on the bottom of the map to try and find it. So what we're going to do is to keep the maps organized well, I'm going to right click on the world map to insert a new map. We'll make this 25 by 21. Village. We'll make it sad. Village of Lost Hope. It's very sad. People here are always sad. Don't know why. That's what our quest is going to do. We're going to figure out why they're sad and make them happy. Something like a child show. Why not? So now we have our. We don't want a field map. You don't want to go here. Exterior. That works best for a town. One thing I like to start off with is kind of an open grassy field. So we're just going to quickly fill it in with grass. Start the scene right. Next you're going to need you're going to have your village walled off. Most villages are usually walled off, more cities. Next thing you're going to want to do is choose some sort of wall for the village. These here are usually used for castles and structural walls. These ones here are good for houses and buildings. We'll go brick. We'll go too high. Oops. Make sure you select the right tool before you fill in everything. A lot of the default maps leave a 2x2, 2 from here, 2 from the bottom kind of gap. It just gives the appearance that there's something beyond the walls that just isn't the end of the world. We'll do the same over here. Try and have it right in the middle there. And then you're going to want the same thing for the back of the village. Except you're going to want to count down 3 instead, because you're going to have the top of the wall also. Next you can select the top of the wall there. Bring that all the way down. If you don't, the auto tiles for the walls and usually these cliff sides, and I think the trees do it as well. They'll leave an automatic shadow on the right hand side. If you don't like the shadows there, you can take them out with the shadow pen. And if you wanted, you can place the shadows on the other side. But I don't like it that way. I like it on the other side, so we'll do that. The game's generally pretty good with keeping the shadows in the right spot. You don't really have to change that much unless you're really creative or it's just something you want to change. Go right ahead. I usually don't. I find them good enough as they are. So we'll create a little house here. You do not have to choose this tile or this wall with this roof. You can choose whatever roof you want. Oh, with this ugly little thing, just because we can. In the B tab here, there's a lot of tiles to use to decorate your housing. So you can give it a little window with some flowers coming out of it. These, if it's a weapon shop, an inn, or a pub, good little signs to have. I don't like those flowers there. We'll take that out. We'll do one of these windows. I'm just skipping all the decorating and all that for now, just to show you each of the map types, and then we'll go through and start showing you the best way to start decorating your maps. We're going to throw in one of these black squares here. Your character can walk in and they can walk up to them and stand in the black squares. They're good for getting into buildings instead of just having a flat wall. So we'll place that there. And if you want, instead of a transfer event, you can put a door. It does the same thing, except it gives you a door graphics. When you click on the door will open and you're free to walk in. This door is good enough, so we'll go with that one. Now we're going to need a house to walk into, so we'll choose interior. That's really good for houses or buildings. Just gonna add a little more space to this, because once you put in walls, you lose a good portion of the map. So we're gonna fill this in completely black. We'll use this guy here as the wall. 1, 2, 3. Leave that space for the top of the wall. Leave a little entrance. There, now we have our basic square house. They're gonna add some rooms. So bring down the top of the wall here. If I wasn't in the fill mode. If you want to have the room closed off, you can do something like that. We don't have enough room to make a. Maybe we do. It's gonna be a very cramped house. There we go. Nah, I don't like that. That's not big enough. Oh, 23 by 21. There we go. That's a good size. I'm just gonna fill that in black. Seems to be the thing to do for houses. We'll add our walls here. You don't have to follow this 2 by 2 away from the edges, but I like to do it. I think it looks good. So create our walls. 1, 2, 3. 2. Sorry. 2 from the bottom and then 2 more for the walls. So 2 from the bottom, 2 for the wall. Going to need a flooring. Fill that in. Very easy to add rooms to a house. All you have to do is drag about however big you want the room. So we're going to do 3 for that. We'll make a little smaller room here. Add some walls. It's actually very small. Smaller than I expected. I'm just going to quickly decorate the house, maybe speed the video up so I don't waste your time here. One thing to note is just go through the decorations, choose anything you need. So when you're decorating a map, for this instance, this house, you're gonna want to start off with something basic. So you build the basics of the house. These people are probably gonna sleep. We'll throw in some beds. Maybe give them a little nightstand. Each of them might need a dresser. Just start off very basic. Yeah, that wall doesn't really fit, so we're gonna go with something else here. Yeah, that'll work. So now that you have the basic layout of the house, now you're going to want to start adding some detail. It's kind of hard to have a map going first the right time, properly the first time, unless you plan it out. I'm kind of just winging it here. So the best thing is to do is to either wing it, see what you come up with, or actually plan out your maps. I should have done that before I started this. Still looks kind of bare. So, adding maybe a square rug to the main area will help bring out some of the room a bit. Notice the carpet kind of follows the edge of the bookshelves here. What you could have done before this was put the carpet down and then put the bookshelves on top. Or what you can do is the shift mapping again. Hold shift, click on the edges here. So it gets rid of all of that. And then you can just click on the outer sides here. So the carpet, actually here we're going to make it look like the carpet's going down to the edge of the wall down here, because there technically is space. So there we go. I'm just going to add a staircase here just to show you the dungeon mapping right after this. You're going to have a creepy cellar for some reason. Maybe a bad rodent problem. We'll put a bunch of rat creatures under there and spiders. There's probably something we can put here. Not quite sure. Maybe just have some NPCs walk around. We'll keep it open. I think this looks good. So before we leave, we're going to want to edit this event. Transfer player to the house. Same with inside. We're going to transfer. We don't need a door on the inside. Look kind of goofy actually. I'll show you the door just to show you what I mean. Yeah, looks stupid. We'll do a transfer. Out to the village. Save. Before we forget, we're going to want to transfer out and into the village. Or, yes. I don't know, you can. Anywhere, we'll do the left side. World map. Create a transfer into the village. Since you can touch this event from the top and go down. If it's at retained, when you go into the village, your guy will be facing out of the village. So we're gonna make him look up when he gets into the village. Hit OK, copy the event, paste it. So now we can get into the mountain, we can get out, we can get into the village, we can get out, we can get into the villager's house, and we can get out of the village. So now we'll just quickly run through it all. Another thing, I saved down there and then I edited the map. Now I'm stuck. You can create events, you can delete this, walk them out, save, draw it back, come back in the game, but that's a little more work. We're just going to start a new game. There we go. This still works. Can't walk off the mountain. Shift mapped so we could take out that little chunk of the edge there. Go back down. We're at the world map. Can we get back in though? Did we do that correct? Yes, we did. So now we're going to enter the village in from the right, and since the directional change was set to up on the transfer events, we'll go in and we're facing up. Another mistake we just made was the field music was still playing when we entered the village. So what you're going to want to do is auto change background music either to some sort of town theme, or if you set it to none, it will completely stop the previous music playing. If you leave it unchecked, it'll continue to play the music from the last map you were in. So now we go in with it checked, music stops. And there we go. Now we've covered 3 of the maps so far. Now we'll move on to the dungeons. It's kind of weird, you can just step on that table. There's a way to change that. Come to that in the database video. Not much happening in here. We haven't added any NPCs. We haven't added any interactions with anything. So you could have this book say something. You could make it turn like a book. Many things you can do, but we'll cover that in the eventing tutorial, which will be the tutorial after this one. We'll just save our guy there. And now we'll move on to the dungeon. Since the dungeon's going to be connected to this house, we're going to create the new map underneath this house. Cellar? Did I spell cellar? Probably. Creepy cellar. Change that to dungeon. We're going to have a good size. We'll do 45. That's going to be too big for a tutorial. 31 by 27. No loop. I'm not going to let you dash through. Give it some creepy music. I like that one. We'll do that one. We don't need a parallax background. It's just going to be underground, so we're not going to be seeing any mountain ranges or blue skies or anything. So keep that unchecked. Everything here looks good. One thing you can do for an easy dungeon is generate dungeon. Select the flooring and the wall tiles you like. We'll just do something a little coarse. Go with that one. That's weird. Do it again. That's not big, so it's not going to do anything fancy. So if we make it to 45 like I was going to, generate dungeon. See, it kind of makes like a little windy dungeon path. This is good. I wouldn't say this makes you so you're lazy and uncreative. It's just making a game takes a long time, and this can give you a good base to work off of. So you can always just generate it and then simply edit it. You can just go to your mapping mode. If you want this to be a dead end, you could do so. You could put a treasure chest here, so when they walk up here, they will, see the treasure chest, but they can't get to it. So now you got to make them walk around. And everyone here probably knows how a dungeon works. They could be pretty frustrating. But we'll make our little house cellar small. Actually, like 23 by 21. We'll make it the same size as the house, so it gives you the same feel as the house. Oops, typos. Thing you can do with the pencil is hold right mouse, select all that, and then just click over there. We're entering the cellar from the right side of the house, so probably a good thing to keep the stairs on the same side. Transfer down. To the cellar, just below the steps, and we'll want to be looking left. Same with the house cellar, you're going to want to transfer up into the house, looking to the left. Might want to specify the battle back. I think that's the best we're going to get to how the map looks. You can always create your own. Since we added some music here, we're not going to want it to continue playing in the house like we did before. So auto change to nothing, auto change to nothing. Now that we've set up the dungeon here, you notice we have quite a different selection of dungeon tiles. Like for the flooring, you have this transparent glass kind of thing happening here. Different walls, different steps. You got an ice wall, kind of like a lava wall, iced up bricks. You have different rock formations you can start slapping down. You have some pillars. Maybe your cave entrances, cave exits, dragon statues. You can use a dungeon tile set for maybe you're making a underground mine. Different tools you can have, some corpses, some jails. You can have some different stock, railroad tracks, coffins, broken pillars, and it gives you these things as well as the previous. Some of the tile sets have some similar things, but most of them vary quite a lot. Some spiders, some rats down here. We'll just have them on the whole map, small area. Don't need to create different regions. In the eventing page, we'll have more down here to do. You can design this however you want. There's cracks in the walls you can use. Perhaps they use this as a storage cellar. I'm just deleting the transfer vent here. We just want to open the door. That's it. We don't want them to actually, make the screen go black, transfer them, and then reappear. Look kind of silly. Save our game. Continue on. Creepy cellar top left, music playing. I can hardly hear the dripping music, but we'll turn that up a bit, see if we can hear it. Or I shouldn't say the music, the dripping background sounds. You can hear it a bit. Door opened. Didn't transfer us, so that's good. Go upstairs. Should turn the music off. And there you go. So that ends the tutorial for the 4 basic map types, the field maps, the exterior maps, interior, and dungeons. In the next one, we'll probably go over some things you can do for designing tips, maybe create a little forest, have a river running through it, and go into more detail on how to make your map look better. I know I just went over the house, but I just wanted to show the 4 basic types and a few designing things you could do. Eventually, after my videos have enough views and hopefully enough people following, well, I'll be creating a Let's Make series, kind of like a Let's Play, except you guys, the fans, I'll take some random comments, whatever you guys type in, we're throwing in a game. We're going to try and make the game, we'll make it 6 hours long, and then I'll just release it. And we'll see how great of a game a few hundred people can make by just adding random comments that I like. So I hope this tutorial was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. If there's something you missed that you want to see, leave a comment. I'll try and get as many topics as I can covered. If there's something you didn't see in here, it will probably be in the next video. Eventing will be the video after all the mapping videos, so hold on for those, and see you next time. Thanks for watching.